Today we are creating a YouTube Shorts transcription app with Cursor AI. It's a streamlined tool to turn any YouTube short into text quickly and seamlessly. Here's the tech stack driving this project. We're using Next.js 14, Clerk for secure authentication and route protection, and Supabase with Prisma ORM for efficient data management. The app's workflow is simple but powerful. We validate the YouTube short URL and extract the video ID. Then we process everything in parallel, from fetching video metadata to streaming audio for transcription with OpenAI's Whisper, all while managing temp files to keep things fast and clean. To secure this workflow, we use Clerk's Supabase JWT for smooth authentication, validate URLs server-side, and set up row-level security in Supabase to control access. The project unfolds in 3 phases: setup, building the core features, and throughout the video I will make small improvements to the UI. And the best part? You can do this yourself with Cursor with minimal coding knowledge. And now, let's start the video. So we want to start with the following prompt. I want to create a web application with Next.js 14 that lets users create transcripts from YouTube Shorts with OpenAI Whisper, use ShadCN for styling. Before the user gets access to the app, he should authenticate with Clerk, and I want to store the user object in Supabase so I can link the transcripts to the authenticated users. So we need a user table and a transcripts table. I want to use Prisma ORM for DB communication, and we'll talk about what that is in a bit. Here's the workflow for the app. First, the user logs into the app, gets redirected to the dashboard, sees the UI, which is a simple heading plus URL input for YouTube Shorts links with a button next to it. The YouTube video will download in MP3 format, and the user is asked where to download it on his computer. We'll use YouTube DL Core for that. Then we send the audio to OpenAI Whisper to get the transcript. And actually, I don't know if this is a good workflow or not, so I asked Cursor, I need you to come up with an optimized workflow for step 3 and 4, so it works quickly and makes sense from a development standpoint. Because I actually have no idea if it's a good idea to first download the file and then use it, do something with it, process it, and then send it to OpenAI Whisper. Maybe there's another way. We then store the transcript linked to the user in the transcript table in Supabase. I also want to create a page in the app where the user can see the transcripts he already downloaded with the title of the short in a card-like format. Please also check this link, and if we have a look at what that is, it's basically a tutorial for how to integrate Supabase with Clerk. So I want Cursor to use this tutorial to guide me through the process. To see if we can use this easily access the Clerk user object to store it inside of Supabase user table. Don't write code yet, just plan output in GitHub flavored markdown. Now we want to hit enter, let Cursor do its thing, and we want to head over to Supabase. And you want to create an account, and then you want to click on dashboard, or you will automatically be redirected to your dashboard. You will see something like this. You probably won't have any projects. This is why you want to click on new project, choose the organization, and you want to enter a name. I'll choose YouTube transcript, and you want to let Supabase generate a password. Copy that, store it somewhere because you need it in a bit, and you want to create the new project. This should take around 2 to 3 minutes usually. As you can see here, it says setting up project. Now we'll want to head over to Cursor and look what Cursor came up with. So we use the tech stack Next.js with App Router, Clerk, Supabase, Prisma, ShadCN, YouTube DLP Core, and we use OpenAI Whisper. Now we have the database schema for the user and the transcript, and we have the optimized workflow for audio processing. On the client side, we validate the YouTube short URL format. We extract the video ID, send the video ID to the API route, and we have server-side processing. So we use server actions for processing. We do parallel processing. We fetch video metadata like title and duration using YouTube DLP Core. We download the audio stream directly to server temp storage, stream the audio to Whisper API as it downloads, clean up temp files after processing, and store the results in Supabase. Now, security considerations, we use Clerk's Supabase JWT template for seamless authentication, implement rate limiting for API routes, we validate YouTube URL server-side, set up proper row-level security policies in Supabase, and we'll talk about that in a bit, bear with me. This is the page's structure. Now, as you can see, we we don't have the project because we haven't set it up yet. But we have the app, we have the auth group, which basically groups together the sign in and the sign up. We have the dashboard with the main transcription interface, and we have the transcripts where the user can access his history. And then we have the API with the transcribe route. Now, the implementation phase is initialize Next.js with Clerk auth, and we'll do this right now. So we make sure that we are in the correct directory, and we want to check this with pwt. And you can see we're in the shorts transcript directory. And now you want to enter npx create next app at latest. And you want to enter add a dot. So npx knows you want to create the project in the current directory. You want to hit enter. This should only take a couple of seconds. We want to choose TypeScript. Yes, ESLint. Yes to Tailwind. We want to create a source directory. We want to use app router, node to TurboPack, and node to import alias. And now we get the boilerplate code for the Next.js project. And as the next step, we want to head over to Clerk. So go to clerk.com, create an account. You can either choose Google or create with your email address, doesn't matter. And then you will be redirected to this page, and you basically create your application inside of Clerk. We want to call it YouTube transcript, and we want to give the user the option of logging in with email or with Google. Then we click create, and now Clerk tells you what you need to do. Okay, we haven't done that yet, so we head over here and paste that, and we want to enter legacy peer depths, because as of right now, or I'm not sure, does it work without? Let's see. I think the issue was with, so the issue was actually with npx and not with npm, because npx already uses React 19, I believe. And this, all of the dependencies weren't updated yet, so you have a dependency error. And to avoid that, you would have to add legacy peer depths. You would have to add the flag legacy peer depths. You will see this in, I think, at least once in the process. Now, we also want to set up the environment variables. And for that, we want to ask Cursor, please tell me what to do now. I've set up the Next.js project. As you can see, please create the .env file for me with the correct variables to fill. So we want to do this. This will create the .env file, as you can see here. Now we want to hit accept all. And now we have to add a few things. So for example, we need to add the publishable key and the Clerk secret at the top, as you can see here. We'll do this. Now this is for the redirection, because if the user isn't signed in, we want to reroute him to sign in or sign up. And if he is signed in, we want to reroute him to the dashboard or to the main route, so to speak. Now, another thing that we need is the Supabase database URL. And if we head over to Supabase, the project should already be set up, as you can see here. And you want to click on project settings, and then you want to click on, I think it's database, yes. And this is what we need. Now, let's copy that. And we'll do two things. First of all, we'll paste this here, and I think it should be, so we'll paste that here, and we want to replace the your password string with the actual password. We'll save this, and we also need to paste this into Prisma. So Prisma is an ORM, and it basically helps to simplify database querying, because sometimes these things can get a bit complicated. Now we want to sign up, and then you will be redirected to the dashboard. You will probably have a dummy project set up for you. I've deleted it so we can create it together, guys. And now you want to click on New Project, and then you want to choose Accelerate, Get Started. And here you want to paste the connection string and also replace the your password string with the actual password. And you want to click Create Project. And this is actually all we need to do inside of Prisma. And we need a few more things, because if we head back to Cursor, you can see we also need the Supabase URL, and we also need the Supabase anon key, which is that one. So copy that and paste that here, and we want to save. And now these are all the environment variables that we need. We still need to add one last key, which is the OpenAPI key. So you want to head over to platform.openai.com. You want to click on your profile, and then you can access the API keys and create a new one. We call it YouTube Transcript. Create the key. Now I will revoke all of the API keys when I upload the videos, so you can't use them. But this is the process behind it. So we want to paste this here, save, and the next step, get your Clerk keys from dashboard. We have done that. Create a Supabase project and get the connection string. We have done that. And get the OpenAPI key from platform OpenAPI. Okay. Now, the next thing we actually want to do is where do we have it? Unfortunately, Cursor didn't create this step. Now, we don't want to implement the core features. First, what we want to do is implement Clerk. So we want to head over to Clerk dashboard, and we still need to do a few things. So if you remember, we saved the next public Clerk publishable key and the secret key, and now we need to create a middleware.ts file, but we won't use that one. Actually, we want to use a more sophisticated one, which we can find. Let's see, route protection. I think it was this one. So you will find the docs in clerk.com docs references Next.js clerk-middleware protect routes. And here you can find another middleware, because we want to protect our routes based on user authentication status. So whenever the user or a user accesses our app who is not authenticated, we want to reroute him to the sign in or sign up page. And this is basically what this middleware does for us. So you want to head over here, you want to create a new file inside of the source folder. That is important, because if you don't create it inside of the source folder, you will get errors later on. So we'll call it middleware.ts. Want to paste that here, save it. And now we want to tell Cursor to help us do the rest. For that, I've created middleware and added all of the environment variables to .env. Now, please help me to finish the authentication flow. Use Clerk docs for that. Don't change the middleware. Work with it, because this is the version that helps us reroute unauthenticated users. Now, here's what I want you to do. And if we scroll up a bit, first we want to collapse that. And if we scroll up a bit, you can see the pages structure. So I want Cursor to implement that. Here's what I want you to do. You've created the pages structure with a routing group in app. And we want to put this here. So please create the app folder with the sign in and sign up pages, and also the dashboard with the basic UI. No need for functionality yet. We'll focus on authentication for now. When the user is in the main route and is not authenticated, I want him to be redirected to the sign up / sign in page. So let's see, but please use middleware for that. It should handle it automatically. So we need to check something. Just for safety purposes, we'll add this. Here's the Clerk documentation for route matches. We'll paste this. please only work on this feature. And we'll hit enter and we'll see what cursor comes up with. So it should go ahead and create all of the files inside of this directory. It doesn't. Okay, for some reason it creates a new app folder, but this is not a big deal. We'll just push this app folder inside of the source directory. Now finally, let's create a root layout. So where's the root layout? In app.auth layout. We want to use those two things, put them here and delete that one. And now we have the auth route with sign up, sign in, and we have the layout, and we also have the dashboard. And I think this should be it, right? So let's see, we'll hit accept all. Now we'll save this. So this is not correct yet because we still have to wrap our application in the Clerk provider, if you remember. Here it is. So we'll do it like so. And let's see, we probably get a bunch of errors, but we'll run the server, we'll open localhost, and we get something. Server app render, create component tree, port React, and we also need to do it like so. We need to import that here. Now we have it. Unfortunately, we have two sign-in pages, so this is not a big deal because we will delete that in a bit. Just for now, let's see if we can log in, and we are redirected to Next.js. Obviously, this still looks a bit off. Please add the basic UI in a page. So we'll have app page, where is it? With the heading at the top and the URL input underneath with the button next to it. So we'll hit enter. And again, we have the, where is it? It's called the user button. We have that at the top so we can sign out, but let's quickly accept this. And we need to install shadcn. So we run npx shadcn at latest init. We want to click on New York, use Slate, yes, variables for theming, legacy peer depths. And now you can see here we have the components folder somewhere. If we start adding the components, so for that we want to head over to shadcn. We have it at the bottom, and we need the components. We need the button and the input, so which is here. Copy that, paste that here, and button plus input. We should get a new folder. We use legacy peer depths. As you can see, we have the components folder, and this should be resolved. Yes, okay, that worked. And if we head back over to our application, we should see the YouTube Shorts transcriber. Now, unfortunately, we want to delete the user button from here, I think. Yes, okay, so we got that. And if we sign out, we should be redirected to the sign-in page. Okay, so this is great. Now, obviously, we also need to delete this sign-in button here, but we will do it later. So for now, we'll log in, and obviously this doesn't work, but we have authentication down, so we can actually go ahead and implement the next step. So the next step that I would like to do is connect the database. And for that, we're going to use this article. So just a quick heads up, I've never implemented Clerk with Supabase in that way. So I want to use this and ask Cursor to help me walk through it. Now, okay, the next thing I want to do is to connect Clerk to Supabase so that the authenticated user is added to our database. For that, I have to create. First, need you to help me set up Prisma and tell me what I need to do to push the schema to Supabase. And then I want you to use this article and walk me through the process of connecting Clerk to Supabase so that I can add the user to my users table as I've said. So we'll hit enter and we'll see what Cursor comes up with. So first we need to initialize the Prisma client and create our schema. So this is why we're going to copy that, paste that here. Uninstall. We got some issues, legacy peer deps. Let's use this. Okay, this worked. And we also want to init the Prisma client. I think Cursor already did this for us because it already created the schema.prisma file with the model, user, and transcript, but we can run the comment again, but we should get an error. As you can see, a folder called Prisma already exists, so Cursor already did this for us. And now let's push the schema to Supabase. So for that, we'll copy that and we'll do npx prisma push. A data source block is missing in the Prisma schema file. So let's see, we'll hit save all, we'll run that again, npm. Now we'll get another error, Prisma schema validation. So variable not found the direct URL, and this is why we need to head over to our .env file, and we need to call that, or we need to rename this to direct URL. And now if we run this again, this should work. The provided database string is invalid. The scheme is not recognized in database URL. Okay, let me check. So we have database URL, which should be this one. Let's quickly check. So we have the URL. Do we even need the direct URL? I'm not sure. So let me quickly see. We probably, let's see, we'll do this and we'll head over to schema.prisma. We probably don't need that one, but I'm not sure. We need to be a little bit back and forth. I think this was just a mistake Cursor made. So now if we head over to Supabase, yeah, okay, as you can see, we have the transcript and the user. So this worked. This was actually a mistake. We didn't need the direct URL. And now let's set up Clerk Supabase connection. First, create the requesting user ID function in Supabase. So we'll need to do this. And we need to head over to Supabase. We need to open the SQL editor, paste that here, and click run. So this worked. And now create a Clerk webhook to handle user creation. Create a new route. I'm not sure if this is the correct step, so let's head over here and let's read through the documentation quickly. So this guide explains how to connect your Supabase database with Clerk, how the integration works. LRS works by validating database queries according to the restrictions defined in the RLS policies applied to the table. This guide will show you how to create RLS policies that restrict access to database on the user's Clerk ID. So we need to create a function in Supabase to parse Clerk user ID from the authentication token. Create a user ID column that defaults to Clerk's user ID when new records are created. Create policies to restrict what data can be read and inserted. Okay, now this is what Cursor gave us. So if we head over here and we look at this function, this apparently is the same as this one, right? In the sidebar of Supabase dashboard, so actually I made a mistake. So we need to head over here, and the question is if we need to use the edge function. So in the sidebar of your Supabase dashboard, navigate to database function. So we go to database and we go to functions. So we already have the requesting user ID, set return type to text, toggle show advanced settings on, set language to SQL. So basically what Cursor gave us is the complete statement for the SQL editor. Now, as you can see, if we click on edit function, we should already have this correctly saved. Okay, So return type to text. Okay, yeah, so we have that down. Now we need to create a user ID column. Next, you'll need to create a user ID column in the table you wish to secure. This column will be based in the RLS policies. But I wonder, do we still need a webhook? Webhook. Because the tutorial doesn't say webhook. To find the JWT secret in the sidebar of your Supabase dashboard, navigate to Project Settings API, and Clerk's JWT templates allow you to generate a new valid Supabase authentication. So we actually want to head over to Composer and ask it why we would need to create a webhook. Why do you suggest creating a webhook? The tutorial doesn't talk about it. It just talks about, and let's see, okay, talks about creating a JWT template in Clerk. Why don't you follow the tutorial? You're absolutely right. I apologize for overcomplicating it. Let's follow the Clerk integration. First, let's create the JWT template in Clerk. So we go to Clerk, we are in the dashboard, configure JWT templates, create new template, and we want to use Supabase. Okay, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we follow this manually because it appears that Cursor doesn't know what to do. So create a Supabase client utility. Okay, yeah, this is actually correct, but we'll do the rest of the tutorial manually since it's not code related, right? At least not inside of our application. So let's walk through it step by step. In the sidebar of your Supabase dashboard, navigate to dashboard function. So we have done this. Now we need to create a user ID column inside of our table. And we already have this, as you can see here, but it's called ID and not user ID. So you'll create a user ID column in the table you wish to secure. This column will be used in the RLS policies to only return or modify record scope to the user's account, and it will use the requesting user ID function you just created as its default value. Navigate to the sidebar on the left and select Table Editor. Select the table you wish to secure. In the table, select the plus column and add a new column. Set the name to user ID. So we'll head over here and we'll edit column and we call it user ID. Set the type to text and set the default value to requesting user ID. So type text, default value requesting user ID. Select save to create the column. So we'll hit save, successfully updated. So this is correct. Enable RLS on your table and create the policies. To enable RLS, top bar above the table, select RLS and enable it for this. So we've done that. Select the Add RLS Policy button, which has replaced RLS disabled. Now we need to create two policies. One to enforce that the data returned has a user underscore ID value that matches the requester, and another to automatically insert records with the ID of the requester. So select Create Policy, add RLS Policy, and we need to create policy, and we need to create the select policy, provide a name. So can I do it like this? Maybe this is a bit better. Yes, okay. Maybe we need to do it like this. Oh, so select create policy, policy name. Does it provide a name? Okay, no, let's just call it select. For policy command, select, yes. For target roles, select authenticated. Okay. Replace the dash provide a SQL expression for the using statement with the following. We'll copy that and we'll paste that here. Apparently that's not correct. We'll do requesting underscore user ID, select save policy, and we need to create another policy for insert. So we call that insert policy. We need to choose insert. For target roles, select authenticated again, and replace the provide SQL expression with requesting user ID. Okay, select save policy. Now get your Supabase JWT secret key. Inside the sidebar of your Supabase dashboard, create project settings, click on API, and under the JWT settings, save the value in the JWT secret file somewhere secure. This value will be used in the next step. So we'll do this. We'll head over to Cursor. We'll put it inside of here. JWT secret. We'll paste that here. Let's do this. And now create a Supabase JWT secret. Now we need to go to Clerk. So we'll do this, separate, and we'll do that here. Where is it? Okay, to create Clerk JWT template, navigate to Clerk dashboard, JWT templates, so select the new template button, then select Supabase from the list. We've already done that. So the value of the name field will be required when using the template in your code for this tutorial. Name it Supabase. Signing algorithm will be HS256. This algorithm is required to use JWTs with the Supabase under signing key. The value of the Supabase JWT secret key from the previous step. We'll do this. You can leave all other fields and their default values, default settings, or customize them to your needs. See the Clerk JWT secret guide. What does Cursor tell us? First, let's create JWT secret. Go to JWT templates and create a new template with this configuration. So this apparently is a bit different because we don't have a page, right? We'll ask Cursor for the JWT template. I don't have a website because right now everything is running on localhost. Do we need to make some changes then so it can work with my development environment? The JWT template will work fine with localhost during development. When you deploy it to production, you'll just need to update the ISS and AUD values. Okay, so we'll just copy that, head over here, and paste that inside of here. We'll save that. You can't use the reserved claim ISS. So you can't use sub, you can use X, you can't use IAT. So we want to head over to Cursor and tell it, okay, apparently I can't use ISS, sub, IAT, ISS, sub, and exp in the template. I can only add AUD, role, and email. So we'll hit enter. Yes, you're right. For Clerk's JWT template with Supabase, we only need the basic claims. Here's the correct template. So I guess we'll just use this. We'll hit save. Now we have the Supabase template. Okay, if we look here, to configure Clerk in your Next.js application, follow Next.js quick start. We've already done this. Configure the Supabase client. So Cursor already did this for us. If we look here, Supabase TS. Let's see, we'll copy that, we'll paste that here. Legacy peer deps. After setting up the JWT template in Clerk dashboard and updating the code, we can test if the connection works. Want me to show you how to test it? Yes, please. Show me how to test it. First, let's fix those linter errors, then test the connection. Update the Supabase client with the correct imports. Where do we have the Supabase client? It's in source lib Supabase. Okay. Does this come from server again? Yes. Okay. Now we'll hit save all. Let's create an API test route. Sign into your app. This will probably give us a bunch of errors. Okay. Let's see. We open localhost 3000. So at least that worked. And we want to head over to our table editor. We want to see the user table and we want to click test connection and we get an error 500. Let's try something different. We'll sign out. This should redirect us. Now we'll sign back in, but the user is not added to the database. So if we look in the tutorial, we have configured the Supabase client. Next, the Supabase client used to query and modify data in your Supabase database needs to be modified to use Clerk token as part of the request headers. This can be done by customizing the fetch that is used by Supabase like so. Then the client can be created and used throughout the application. For example, the following example demonstrates how this technique is used to do application. So this is the Supabase client, and if we have a look at this, let's accept all. Apparently the imports are all wrong. So we'll do this, we'll head over here, say, okay, apparently your Supabase client is not correct. Here's the code snippet for the client from the tutorial that I wanted you to use. We'll paste that here, we'll enter. So let's create a proper Supabase client utility following the tutorial. Did Cursor change something in the environment variables? Deleted nothing. Okay, so let's see. We'll head over here, localhost, we'll hit refresh, and we'll see. We'll sign out again. So we'll continue with Google, test connection. Compiling API, test connection. This expression is not callable. Property headers is protected and only accessible within class. This comes from server. Now let's have a look at the tutorial again. So client can be created and used throughout the application. So let's see. This is insert Clerk Supabase token into the headers. So, and apparently Cursor got it wrong. So I wonder if this works. So we'll do this and we'll head over here. We'll paste this. So the code you can see above is a snippet for how to use the configuration to add something. So let's see. The following example demonstrates how this technique is used in a to-do application that queries. So we'll copy that. I'll paste it here. The above example, can you please use it and change our current test connection so that it works for our example and we can add the user to the authenticated user to our users table in Supabase. I mean, I think the problem why it doesn't work is because I've renamed, let's see, it's called user. I wonder if the problem that it doesn't work is because I have changed the user ID column name, and we'll ask Cursor. Also, just as a quick heads up, according to the tutorial, I changed the column name in the user table from user to user underscore ID. I don't know if that's important. Just wanted you to know. So we'll hit enter. Let's update our code to properly test the connection. First, let's update our test page to use the client-side Supabase connection. We can remove the test connection API route since we're now handling everything client-side. Make sure your Prisma schema matches the Supabase table. Now when you click the test connection button, it will get the authenticated user from Clerk, create a Supabase client with a proper JWT, try to update the user in the user table. I highly doubt that this will work, but let's see. Test connection, successfully connected and added user to database. Ha! Nice! That's awesome, it worked. And we all did it with the help of Cursor and our brain. So this is what I wanted you to see, guys. It's important to still be able to follow instructions and to have a little bit of technical knowledge so you can add this stuff. And if we have a look here, we can see user underscore 20UW. And if we head over to Clerk, let's see, we have the users. We click on here and we say user underscore 20UW. So this works. Oh, that's so satisfying. Love it. Now that we have that, Okay, this worked. Now, can you update the code? Let's see, we'll have a look. It probably doesn't work if we log in yet, because we manually have to click the test connection button to make it work. So but just to make sure, we'll test this. We'll delete one row, and then we'll head over here and we'll sign back in. We probably won't see the user inside of here because right now we haven't implemented this functionality. Okay, but it should be easy to tell Cursor to change that. Now, can you update the code so that the user is automatically added to the user table without having to click the test connection button? Please don't break anything and only work on that feature, and then tell me when what I need to delete. I haven't deleted the test connection route yet. So we'll hit enter. Let's modify the home page to automatically add users when they log in. We'll use the use effect hook for that. The test connection button and related code can be deleted. So we'll hit save all. And let's see, we'll do this. We remove this. And we also remove the folder. We don't need it. Move to trash. Now the user was added. So we'll test it one more time. But I think it should work. We get an error. Okay, what's that? Let's see. Delete one row. We'll delete that. And we'll sign in. And we have the user in Supabase. That's awesome. Nice. What's the error? Error syncing user in page.tsx in app. Let's hit accept all. So we don't need that. We don't need use state, apparently. React use effect as a missing dependency. So we want to copy that. That worked. But after logging in, I get this error. Can we resolve it without deleting the feature we added, which is adding the user to Supabase automatically? The error might be happening because we need to wait for the Clerk token. Let's modify the code to handle this better. So I'm not sure if this really does the trick. We still get the error. Error syncing new row violates level security policy using expression for table user. We want to copy that again. Now I get another error. We need to set up row level security policies in Supabase for user table. But I have done that already, right? So what I will do now is I will first save my code, because I did on authentication plus adding user to Supabase with Clerk JWT. We want to write that. So I wonder if we break the functionality that we've added. Before I just mindlessly copy paste this comment, I want to ask Cursor, okay, while implementing the connection between Clerk and Supabase, we'll head over here, we'll open the tutorial. Where is it? And we want to we want to create a screenshot, and we'll use this screenshot. So we'll use this screenshot, put it here. Okay, while implementing the connection between Clerk and Supabase, I've already added 2 policies that you can see here. Before I just add yours, please tell me if that would break the current feature of adding the user to Supabase. Looking at the image, you've already added the correct RLS policies from the Clerk Supabase integration. A select policy that checks if requesting user ID equals user ID, and an insert policy. These are exactly what we need. The policies I suggested earlier would be redundant and potentially conflicting. See? Use your brain. Let's stick with your current policies since they are from the official integration guide. Your current policies are okay. But why do we get the error then? The error might be happening because we need to create the requesting user ID function in Supabase first. Okay, yeah, but we've already done that. The error might be happening because we need to create the requesting user ID function in Supabase first. Let's delete this. The functions and everything already are in Supabase. Error syncing user. New row violates row level security policy using expression for table user. Let's see. We'll sign out again. We'll sign in. I will sign in with a different account. Let's choose this one. Continue. So we don't get the error anymore. Or does it only happen if we refresh the page? It only happens if we refresh the page. I see the issue might be the JW template in Clerk. Then let's verify setup. Let's hit configure. JWT template, Supabase. We have role, AUD, and sub. The sub claim is crucial here because that's what Supabase uses to match with requesting user ID. But I am pretty sure I can't use sub user ID. Yeah, you can't use the reserved claim sub. Does the tutorial tell anything different? Probably not, right? So I think I will resolve this off camera to not unnecessarily invest any more time. So I want to head over to the next feature, which is downloading the YouTube video. And for that, we'll head over here a bit to the top. As you can see, where do we have it? Okay, so this is the optimized workflow. We want to copy that and we want to head over here. I will resolve this issue later. Let's focus on the next feature, which is creating the transcript of the YouTube short. For that, you suggested the following workflow. Can you please help me create all the necessary files and folders for that and also write the code? Please tell me when you need my help. So we'll do this. Cursor will probably do a bunch of things. I'll help you implement the transcript feature step by step. First, let's install the required dependencies. So we'll copy that, paste it here. We'll do legacy peer deps and we'll hit enter. It didn't found YouTube DLP core. What's the actual name? YouTube DLP core, YTDL core, YTDLP core. It's just called YTDLP, okay. NPM I YTDLP legacy here deps, okay. Let's see, installation. Apparently it is not a node package, but a binary as it seems, YTDLP core. It's called YTDL core. Let's do this. Legacy here deps. We'll hit enter. That worked great. Let's create a server action for handling the transcription. So we have the transcribe route. Where is it? In source app underscore actions. Transcribe route. So apparently we need to install a few more things, as it seems. Update the home page to use the server action. We also need to update our Prisma schema to match the transcript table. So we'll copy that. Yeah, we get a bunch of errors, I know. This is called shadcn. Now we need to update the Prisma schema. Where is the Prisma schema? At the top. We need to hit save all. So let's head over to Supabase and look at the transcript, user ID, video ID. This seems to be correct. Now we need to handle all of this stuff. So it really is called like so, but it doesn't find anything. So conflicting peer dependency. It's not in this registry. So we've already installed those. And we want to do this. We still need to install that one. So we'll paste that here. YTD, the package manager is outdated, broken. I see. Maybe it's that. YTDLP wrap, legacy, peer deps. So how do I use it? Import. So this should actually work, but it's wrap. Ah, okay. And we also use server for auth. Let's head back over to the composer, and we don't get any issues anymore, but let's see. So we still get this error, I know. Now we need something from YouTube, a YouTube short. Where is it? Hopefully I find something. Yeah, let's just use this one. At least it's with text, right? So we'll paste that here. We probably get an error because I don't know if Cursor already created the correct formatting. So nothing happens. Okay. Okay, now when I paste the YouTube Shorts link, for example, this one, and I click the transcribe button, nothing happens. Could you please connect everything? First, let's import all the missing packages. Let's look at .env. Yeah, okay. We want to reject this because we need all of the errors. And here is the problem. Can't resolve child process. So let's have a look at transcribe. Let's see. Will it accept all? Did we also accept the changes here? No. So I get this error now. Paste it here and we'll see. Update the transcribe route. First install the YouTube API package. Okay. And it did some changes. So we get a lot of errors. Failed to compile. This is another error. Let's use a different package, which is more Next.js friendly. Now you can see what happens. So Cursor tries to solve the issue at whatever cost. Okay. We want to use OpenAI Whisper and send the audio stream to Whisper so that it can create a transcript. Right now, Cursor tries to implement the caption scraper, and I will do this just to see if it works. But apparently, this is not what we want. Since so now, if I paste that here, let's go to YouTube again, and we need this, and we paste that into our application. So we get a second error. What is the second error? YouTube caption scraper is not a function. Okay, apparently Cursor tried to, I think, kind of read the captions from the video, but this doesn't work. So this doesn't work at all. Here's the workflow I need you to implement. User inputs link. Video is fetched and displayed underneath in an iframe. Audio stream is then sent to OpenAI Whisper and transcribed. Transcription appears underneath the video. Please find a solution that makes sense from a development standpoint and walk me through it step by step. So we'll hit enter and we'll see what Cursor comes up with. So let's rebuild this properly. Here's the step-by-step solution. We have the video transcriber component now. Update the transcribe server action. This should be that one. And I want to know what Cursor is using. So we're using Axios for requests. Consider rate limiting and file size restrictions. You'll need to set up a server endpoint to download YouTube audio. The example uses a placeholder API. Okay. Apparently that's also not correct, right? I want to use, and let's see if there's a download YouTube videos node module. Node YTDL core. Okay, so what is this using? Okay, npm up to date. Okay, and if I add legacy peer deps, I want to use YTDL core for downloading or displaying the video. No need for a server endpoint. And this is what I mean. If you can remember in the beginning when I specified the prompt, I told Cursor to use OpenAI Whisper and not to use transformers, because somehow Cursor tends to want to create all of the solutions from scratch. But apparently this would be too much work. Now, as you can see here, download the audio correctly, no need for external API points. So now let's see, we'll hit save. We don't get any errors, so which is good. We need to copy this, head over here, paste it. So this worked, but we get a status code 403. Can we play the video? Yes, we can. So this is awesome. So we'll hit accept all for now, and we want to do a git add, and we want to git commit, edit YouTube display feature, and we want to do this. Okay. Transcription error 403, and 403 usually means something is blocked. When I click transcribe, the video is displayed, but I get this error in the terminal. It's coming from YTDL core because YouTube is blocking server-side requests, as I've said. Let's modify our approach to use a more reliable method. Key changes: instead of using YTDL stream, we get the direct audio URL, use native fetch, convert the file object to an array buffer. Okay. At least we don't get any errors. We'll refresh the page. We'll do this, and we still get a 403, but this time we get another error, or another error message, so to speak. So we'll get this. We'll paste it here. This is the next error that I'm getting. Please fix and don't overcomplicate things. Please don't hallucinate code and use the provided libraries. So we'll hit enter. Let's simplify using YTDL core directly. Here's the fixed version. Okay, so we're almost there, right? We're almost there. You'll need to add these to your .env file. Okay, so definitely not. Because now it wants us to authenticate with YouTube. And for that, we need to get our YouTube cookie. But apparently this is a very bad user experience, right? Because you don't want the user to go into the developer tools, search for the cookie, paste it inside of the code. So we'll hit reject all. This is a bad solution because it's bad UX. I don't want the user to look for the YouTube cookie. Is there another way to solve this problem? First, get a YouTube API key from the... Okay, yeah. So the next step would be to use the YouTube API and to scrape everything from there. But this would involve to creating a new user API key instead of cookies, more reliable, maintainable. And so this would involve to go to cloud, google.cloud console. Let's see. And we would have to go, I don't know, I would probably have to create a new project. Let's call it YouTube transcript. We'll create that here, and we would to go to APIs and services, and we would need to enter YouTube. And there we need the YouTube data API v3, and we want to enable this. And we need the credentials, and we need the API key, as you can see here, create credentials, API key, and we want to copy that, paste it into our .env file. Where is it? YouTube API key, and we would paste the key here. Is it already the correct one? AI Cursor already added it. Now, let's see if this works. We'll do this. We'll reload that. We paste it here. We still get a status code 403. Okay. No audio format available. So this is another error. Now I get another error. Let's modify the audio format selection in transcribe TS. The issue is with how we're getting the audio formats. Nope. But this is because Cursor deleted the YouTube API key again. So this is why we're not authenticated. Now I get a 403 again because you deleted the YouTube API key header. See, this is so dumb. Cursor, you really have to be as specific as possible in your prompts. Okay, you can't just tell Cursor to change something because sometimes it would just go ahead and delete these things. So we'll hit accept all, and we want to click transcribe again. So what happens if we refresh? We'll paste that here. We'll transcribe. Still a 403. I still get a 403. Let's see, is there a different YTDL, YouTube DL? So let's see, can we use this, for example? It's just a command line tool, right? YouTube DL, okay, it's a command line tool. This is not really, we can't really use this in our situation. So you're just cycling with the same solutions all over again. Please come up with something new and don't be such a junior developer. Insulting Cursor is always a good choice. And don't be such a junior developer. I don't want to create a server or anything. Please use available solutions that integrate well with my current code base. Looking at your code base, you already have YouTube transcript API. Yeah, okay, no. Don't use, but I want you to use the OpenAI Whisper API to create a transcript. This is a must. Okay, Remotion Media Utils. It's designed to work in Node and doesn't require additional service. So I will do this, but just keep in mind, the more complexity you add to your app, the bigger the chance that you won't understand what is happening. We'll try that. I don't expect it to work. Where is it? This is the link. We'll paste it here. We'll transcribe. Fail to transcribe video. Okay. Motion requires react.createContext, but it is undefined. If you're in a React server component, turn it into a client component by adding use client at the top of the file. So this will probably won't work. Yeah, as you can see, we can't change. Okay, this doesn't work. So what are we doing? So we have the video ID. We create the audio data to a buffer. Let's see what this chat suggests. Buffer from audio data. Let's head over to Composer again. No, this doesn't work either. Don't add unnecessary complexity to the app. Has to be a way to solve this problem while meeting all the requirements that I gave you. Let's see. We'll save this. We'll enter this. Can we see anything in the console? Failed to load server. We need to. Don't use Remotion for that. It's too complex. Simplify by using YouTube DL exec. Let's try that. Legacy peer depths. We'll hit accept all. We'll refresh. We get an error. Hydration failed. Okay. So now I get this and I get a hydration error on the page. Please fix and walk me through it step by step. First install YTDLP binary. So this should resolve the issue. We need the link again. So we get something. Now I immediately get this. So this will probably not work. So let's see. We'll download this and we'll hit accept all. We'll refresh this. We'll do transcribe. So it's doing something. Oh, finally. Jesus. This took longer than expected. Okay, now let's head over to this. I want to grab another one. Let's do this one. And we'll head over here. We'll paste this, close this, transcribe. So it fetches the video, it says transcribing. Nice. Okay, so this worked. Great. Now we can actually go ahead and add the other thing of showing all of the transcriptions in another window. But first, I want to know if we also add the transcript to Supabase. And we don't. Okay. So we need to add this feature. Okay, finally that worked. Now we still need to add the transcript to Supabase after successful transcription and link it to the user. Please do that. So we want to do this and click, give a git add, git commit, edit transcription feature. And we want to save this. We want to click enter, but let's create the proper table in Supabase first. We already have the table. Let's see. Actions transcribe, const Supabase create client. Looking at your file area, insert code in place, but let's create the proper table in Supabase first. Add this to your Supabase functions. Okay, run this in your SQL query editor. User ID, content. Okay. I mean, we probably shouldn't need to do this because we already have all of this. So I want to click on edit table. And what I want to do is I want to give this to cursor. Okay, so we'll take a screenshot, paste it here. I already have a table in Supabase, which is called transcript. You can see it on the screenshot. Isn't that already correct? And we'll hit enter. Yes, you're right. I see the transcript table in your screenshot with all the necessary columns. The table structure looks good. Looking at your current transcript, yes, the Supabase should work, but let's add the title field and use the timestamp. And we'll hit accept all. And we want to go to our YouTube Shorts. Come on, give me something from Alex Hormozy. We'll take this one. And we'll copy, we'll head over to our application, and we'll paste it here. We'll hit transcribe. Now, if we head over to Supabase, the table is empty, still empty. Okay. I wonder if this is because we get but we don't get the error anymore, right? So if we hit refresh, we don't get this error from the user anymore. So the transcript still isn't added to the database. Could you add some log statements where it makes sense so I can check what exactly is happening? So we'll save all. We probably won't see it in the terminal. We'll see it in the console. We'll see it in the terminal. We extract. Failing row contains null. Okay. So here's a Supabase insert error. User ID, video ID, content length 526, and we get an insert error. Failing row contains null. Okay. So let's see. Maybe we have content. Let's see. We'll edit table. We probably need to set it as an empty string. I think this should resolve the issue because we want to store text, right? Not a number or stuff like this. So let's see, video ID. Let's see if this already did the trick. Now we'll head over to our application. And if not, we ask cursor, but you always want to try it yourself. Successfully inserted into Supabase. So this was in fact the problem. Finally, guys, we did it. And it only took like, I don't know, 2 hours, around 2 hours. So this works. Oh, I'm so happy. Nice. Okay, now we want to add another feature. So we want to hit accept all. We want to do a git add and a git commit, edit transcript to Supabase feature. And we want to do a write and quit. Okay, now I need the option of displaying all of the downloaded YouTube Shorts scripts from the user. I wanna please come up with a solution that makes sense from a UX standpoint and display the transcripts in the following design. We want to have a title. So we have the title, the content, and we have the video ID. So we probably don't need this ID here because we choose the video ID, but we only need the title and the content really, right? So title, content, and maybe we can use the timestamp, but we only need the date format, and the date with the format year, and then it's right month, day. So I want to see what Cursor is doing, because this has to be, that is somewhat complex, right? It has to create a new fetch route from our Supabase user and also create a new component, the transcript list. Don't forget to install date FNS. Yeah, okay, we'll do this. Legacy peer depths. So this should be resolved, hopefully, yes. Okay, well, let's save all and we'll look at our design. Okay, so this looks a bit off, but we should still have the, okay, yeah, that was actually not good. So we want to reject here, and we just want to add the transcript list, and we want to import that, and now we have it. I have no idea why Cursor deleted the heading, and we also want to do it like so, div, do it like this, div, and we want to paste that here. So I want to add this, and now we want to have margin bottom 12 finally. And we want to do this flex end. I will push this over to the right. That's not a big deal, but we finally have our full stack web application YouTube Shorts transcriber finished. It took it took approximately 2 hours, and we had to do a lot of debugging, but it worked. And I will keep doing these videos, guys, to show you that it's possible to create full stack web applications with Cursor, but you still have to do manual work. You have to understand what you're doing. And please do yourself and me a favor. Don't believe all the internet hype where people say you only have to write 1 or 2 prompts and you will have a full stack web application, because apparently that is not right. It's correct for simple applications like a to-do list or some other simple demo projects. But if you want to have an application that has multiple moving parts and you want to connect different things together, like different API points and all that stuff, you have to know what you're doing, okay? So I will probably go ahead and, so we can delete this one, we don't need it. And we do with full. We'll probably tinker around a bit with this, but let's see if we also see the other transcript. So we'll take another one from Homozy, maybe this one, and we'll copy that. We'll head over to our application. We'll paste that here. We should see the video appear. Yes, and it's transcribing. Unknown error. The key ID already exists. Okay, so we apparently still have to do something. I think the issue is because we're not giving an ID to the transcript. As you can see here, the ID is empty. So this is why we're getting an error. So we'll want to head over here, do this. We want to click accept all. I got it to work. The problem was that the content field was set to null, but it had to be an empty string. But now when I want to add another transcript, I get the above error. And I believe this is because we don't assign an ID. So if we look at this table, let's see, discard the changes. I will do another screenshot So we'll take this, add that here, and we want to use, I think it's this one, right? Yes. Okay, we're going to do this because we don't assign an ID to the transcript, an actual ID. Because if I look at the current transcript in the table, it has a video ID, and is it called video ID? Yes. And is linked to the user, but it doesn't have an actual ID. And we want to take another screenshot here, like so. And we also want to add it to our prompt. I've added another screenshot for you to see. And now cursor should make some changes. I see the issue looking at your database structure. The ID field is set to text type with a default value of text, but we're not providing an ID when inserting. Let's fix the insert in transcribe. And now, as you can see here, we add an ID, generate a unique ID using crypto.randomuid, ensures that the content is never null by using the OR operator and setting it to an empty string. And now if we hit accept all, and let's do this, we'll delete this. This should probably also delete the transcript from the bottom. Yes. And now if we hit transcribe, starting whisper transcription, successfully inserted. Okay. And if we have a look at Supabase, we can now see that we have an ID. That's great. And we should also be able to add a second transcript. So let's try this. Let's try another one, maybe this one. And we'll go here. We'll do transcribe. Extract the video ID. We'll download the audio. We're reading the audio file. And we inserted it to Supabase. And we added the second one. Now, apparently, there's still some bugs, okay? Because if we have a look at the app, you can see, okay, it isn't immediately updated. I think we have to refresh it, and then we will see all of the transcripts. So maybe we can go to cursor and ask, okay, this worked, but now the transcript list is not updated immediately. I have to manually refresh the page to see the transcripts. Please fix that. Let's modify video transcriber to receive a refresh callback, and then update transcript list to expose the refresh function. Okay. And once cursor is done, we will test this, and then we're finally done. I will wrap up the video and I will upload it tonight. So we'll hit save all, and let's see. We'll do another one, maybe this, copy, and there it is. Paste it here, transcribe, insert it into Supabase. So we still have to refresh, I think. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I will probably update it off camera, but I don't want to bore you with the details. But there you have it, guys. As I've said, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's possible to build a web application, full stack web application that is a little bit more complex and has a lot of moving parts, but you still need to use your brain. So see you in the next video.